sure they're going to be playing Florida soon, so hopefully she swings by Cardinals training camp. We could use so we can hit some home runs. So it's a great accomplishment for her, and wish them the best of luck. And obviously for us, we're on to the next one and ready to go. Hopefully practice today. We're in our third 4-game and 10-day stretch as we finish the season. So looking forward to getting back at it.
So, Coach, I know it's the 4 games in 10 days, but how big is Wednesday considering you got Kansas State tied with you in the conference and then Texas is also playing at TCU on the same night?
Yeah, I think that as you look at the standings, with the exception, I keep saying Baylor and TCU, 3 through 10 is pretty much open for a lot of things, and it makes it fun. And what you try and do is, if you play well enough and you're fortunate enough to beat Kansas State, you not only beat them, you gain a game on other people, and you get a tiebreaker with them. So there's a lot of big games to play. I think everyone, with the exception of Oklahoma State, still has a game with Baylor. So there's a lot of things that can still happen, and I think that's what makes this league so fun and so challenging, and wears everyone out. When you're playing everyone in the league twice, and you know that you're starting the league, most of us 0-4 because of Baylor and TCU. Those other games just become so much of a struggle, and I think that's why everyone's so compressed from 3 through 10. So hopefully we can play a little better. We played yesterday, and go on the road and find a way to steal one.
Coming off a tough one last night, how do you kind of give your message to your team to play an important game like that on Wednesday?
Our message is always the same. I know it's boring, but we've always been the next 40 minutes is the most important. It's all you can control. We can't do anything about yesterday. You evaluate it quickly. There's not a lot of time to do a lot of things this time of year. It's not like you can practice a long time. You trust your seniors. You trust the ability of them to move on. That's life. You got to adjust. And I've said this many times to this group. Players respond a lot quicker than most of us. They move on a lot quicker than coaches and fans and media people. They get their post-game meal and they're on to the next one. So I'm not overly worried about that. It's just the preparation that goes into it is critical, and hopefully we can have good work. Today will be a walkthrough day. You're kind of beat up after a game, and we had some kids play a lot of minutes, so a lot of mental focus today, and hopefully get a good short workout in tomorrow and go play Wednesday.
A couple of weeks ago, you said you didn't know if Ray would be 100% for the rest of the year. Obviously, with the turnover numbers, you want her to be as close to 100% as she can be. Do you think she's made strides health-wise to get back in the car? I know yesterday was foul trouble, but
no, health-wise, she's as good as she's been, and that's a good thing. The issue yesterday, as you mentioned, was foul trouble, and that was a huge. Of all the things that happened in the game, her getting in foul trouble was probably the one that was the biggest impact, especially the way she was playing. But no, health-wise, like everyone else, you bumped up, bruised a little bit, and sore a little bit, but there's no reason physically that for her to not play to a level that we need her to play.
Do you think when she got back, kind of back to 100% from that injury, did her shooting get noticeably better, or is that just me being?
No, I mean, her shot has been better, and I think anytime you feel a little more comfortable, you can practice a little bit more. You just, anything we do in life, if physically you feel better, you seem to be able to do things better, and certainly for her, she's had moments where she can make shots and she can string them together. She's streaky, and she's on a pretty good streak right now. Really, overall, she shot the ball really well in practice, and that's translated to the game, so hopefully that'll continue.
You spoke yesterday about how tough it is to learn on the job in the Big 12, and Maggie's trying to do that. What are some of the things you want to learn from some of the tough lessons she's learning from this season?
No, I think the biggest thing is when you go through tough times, you cannot make an excuse for what happened. You got to get better. She came here to play. She's playing a lot of minutes as a freshman. I think she'll be on the all-freshman team. She deserves to be. But you just got to play through it and not look for reasons why. For the very first day, I told her, the mistakes that you make are gonna happen, but you can't make them because you use the excuse, well, I'm a freshman, I don't know any better. That's a bad excuse, and it doesn't work. She's gotta be smarter in some areas. Like I said yesterday, if it wasn't for her, we're down 20 at halftime probably. But obviously the turnovers are an issue. Like most freshmen, defense is, we're learning to spell it, then we'll play it kind of thing. That's normal. That's not a huge concern, but she's been a big part of our team, and I think, as she develops and learns, and then the last part would be, when the season ends, what does she do from March to next October to say, all right, these things that I didn't do well as a freshman, I'm moving past that. And that's always the biggest challenge for the next step for a young person.
How difficult is it to navigate a season that has so many injuries like you have? You had Kristen Scott, you had Madison Wise, Ashley Jones dislocated her shoulder, but she didn't miss any time, but still dislocated her shoulder. What's the difficulty in trying to navigate a season like that? What does it say about your team that you're able to navigate it and still be successful?
I think the number one thing is I appreciate you mentioning that. It's a credit to our kids and my staff. We're big on, we don't make excuses. We get beat, I've always said, we are gonna embrace who we are and never apologize for what we're not. That's just not my nature. It's not our team's nature. I think our kids have tried, they've done the things that they can do. Obviously, we're limited in some ways. But I think as soon as you give players a reason to feel sorry for themselves, well, everyone has injuries and everyone gets in foul trouble. You gotta just find a way to get out of it and just grind through it. And we all have opportunities in life to make things better or make things worse. I really believe that. And our kids have made it better. And our seniors, even though, as I've mentioned many times, are not gonna go down as the most decorated senior in the record book, they've impacted our team a lot, and especially second semester. And I think it's a credit to them that they stayed the course. Our players understand what it means to wear an Iowa State jersey. I honestly believe they understand that. And I think they take that to heart, and they just, I really don't know that there's been a game where we really could walk out there and say we didn't try. We might not have played very well, thrown the ball around a lot and didn't do some things, but we're competing. And if you do that, you can be proud of yourself. And we got to do some things better. We got to coach them better in a lot of ways. But as far as the way they've approached their day-to-day work as Iowa State student athletes, I'm really proud of them.
With this being the second time you're going to face Kansas State, what are some things you took away from the first meeting and you're trying to attack here?
The thing with Kansas State is that they have a really dynamic low post game. They have two really good players. Yogi Lee is going to be freshman of the year. They'll probably name the freshman of the year award after her. I think she's been freshman of the week every week but one or two. It's ridiculous. She'll probably be an all first team conference player. She should be. Peyton Williams is a senior that is got one of those senior motors that figures out a way to do it. She's been willing as a great teammate to move from the low post to maybe away from the basket more, but they rebound, they impose their will on the post. They like to control the tempo of the game, so we got to be smart there. But it's going to start with, can we in any way, shape, or form handle what they do to us on the inside and figure out a way to score against our length at the other end.